This is a Anything Goes podcast production.
All right. Hi, you guys. You are back to another episode of the Journey of a Soul Sister podcast. Like I always say in the beginning, some of these episodes will be video, some of them will be audio. I don't know what you're going to get which week. It just depends, okay? If you're looking for a podcast home, make sure you holler at Digital Empath Studios. Come see me or Lee, whatever. With that being said, you guys, to get that out of the way, shameless plug stuff. Today, I actually met this guy on another podcast. He came in and did, mutual friends of mine, and he had a movie premiere coming. And I heard his story a little bit, but I wish they would have elaborated a little bit more. I was like, ooh, I want to get him on my show. He seems so interesting. It's like he has so much more layers to him that he could pull back. So went to his movie premiere, invited us, didn't know me from Adam and Eve. Let's make this clear. First time, you're like, you guys should come on. I'm like, okay. I guess we could go. That being said, that let me know right there his energy was amazing. And then he hit me up after his movie premiered a little while, said, hey, people interested, something, and still wanted to work with me. So when you come across people like that, you got to dive into their journey. You have to know what's going on. And when you meet good energy, you just don't let it go. So with that being said, I'm about to turn around. Y'all know how I do with my one-on-one. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, King, and give your Instagram handles and all those things.
Okay, well, good afternoon. My name's Alvin Gray, film director here from Baltimore, Maryland. And if you want to check me out personally, you can come to my personal page. It's The Alvin Gray. It's Gray. Let me spell it out. TheAlvin Gray. That's
just
The
Alvin
Gray.
It's
okay.
Good.
Okay. I didn't.
We having a conversation.
We having a conversation.
Good.
Yeah. So ignore the microphone. Ignore the camera.
Ignore the cameras. You got this.
I'm sweating and stuff. But yeah, so that's where you would find me at.
Okay.
The Alvin Gray. That's my personal page, and from there, if you're interested in finding other branches of me, you'll find it from that page.
That's interesting. So you have all those links in your bio?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys, please click the link on the bio. Don't be expecting somebody to just send it to you all the time. It's just a click.
Right.
Okay, so you say you are a film director from Baltimore.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Wait. I know that, but for people who don't know that, how did you even think that you could do that? Like, how did that happen?
I just made it happen, I guess, in a sense where it was. So originally I wanted to get into acting more, and I got tired of doing extra work, like on a bigger studio sets, like The Wire, Step Up, and things like that. So, I just said, let me get some friends out and let me try to act in my own stuff. And that's how I really got into directing, by just gathering friends together and acting, hiring myself, and just doing the. Yeah, it was just a whole weird thing with that.
So wait a minute, let's back roll this. You said I got tired of doing extra stuff on other shows, and then drop one of the major shows that that we are known for. I hate when I go out of town and people are like, "Oh, you're from where The Wire is." I'm like, yeah, that's there, but thanks. And we're like, oh, okay. What was your role? What did you have to do behind the scenes or anything when it came to The Wire and some of your previous projects before you started doing your own thing?
So before I started doing my own thing, when I was just doing extra work for money, so you might see me in a few episodes, like working with the Mayor Carcetti. I was a streetwalker in the high roller one time, but I had some pretty good shots, but I wasn't giving my full, potential. I'm like, y'all not gonna have me keep walking in the background and stuff. So, and then it was a moment. I said this before in another interview where Omar was about to stab the guy in jail, and everyone was fighting to get in the front of the scene of that, And at that point, I realized, man, we're fighting to be extras. This is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to fight just to be the guy in the back. Like, if I'm, let me just create my own lane. So from that point, I said, you know what? I'm putting all this energy into someone else's set. Let me just sit back and study how they do it, and let me see how I can do it on a smaller scale to grow. Right.
Oh, I love that. I really love that for you. So when did you know that you can act? First of all, when did you fall in love with film? Because before anybody start acting or you start getting into film, what made you fall in love with it?
I like the idea of being able to create and tell my own stories. Back when I was younger, when I say younger, I'm talking like 9, 10 years old, younger. I would try to escape my reality by playing with action figures and creating movies and stories, because I didn't like my current environment at the time.
Okay.
So what I did was just create my own story within my figures, my action figures. So at that point, I realized I like taking toys and creating stories. It wasn't until I got older I realized that I was able to then take human beings instead of action figures and tell them, hey, I need you to do this and walk like this and talk like this. And at that point, I realized I think I like creating stories and movies.
Mhm.
And I can do this not just with toys, but I can do this with real people. So
Wow. Do you see how amazing how your mind works, like the
uh,
power of mind? You said when you were younger, you did not like your environment
mhm,
and you wanted to create something different.
mhm,
And if you don't mind sharing,
yeah,
what was your environment? Because we both
yeah.
grew up in Baltimore City, so don't just say the cliche stuff. What is that? I'm saying the word wrong.
Right, right.
Cliche
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
Hey, Baltimore.
Yeah.
Everyone's story is different.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your environment and when you escaped, because it's a
Mhm.
two-part question.
Yeah, yeah.
When you would play with your action figures to create, what environment did you like? Where life that you
Yeah.
wanted to live?
Well, I mean, I don't have the story like a lot of my colleagues have, the hood
Mhm.
stories and everything. My story was a little bit different, but I had my own struggle within itself. I grew up going from household to household. My parents were, well, they're recovering addicts now, but well, not
Okay.
recovered addicts now, but back at that time in my life, they had a drug addiction.
Mhm.
So we were, me, when I say we, my brothers and I were going from family members to family members' house.
Mhm.
And looking back at it now, I really don't talk about this too much, but looking back
It's
at it now,
okay.
you know, they might not have been as happy to have us there because we were invading their
Mhm.
space. So
Mhm.
sometimes they came off a little more hostile than I would like for them to have
Mhm.
been towards me and my brothers. So when I was in those environments, I just adapted to that, but found a way to just zone everyone out with the Ninja Turtle that I had or the Power Ranger I had and just create these stories that took me not only out of Baltimore, but sometimes out of this world,
Oh,
out of
that's
this,
amazing.
and that's why my
Mhm.
films sometimes aren't really a lot of film directors from Baltimore, they adapt. They tell stories within the neighborhoods.
That's true.
I don't do that because I never wanted to tell any stories that just box me into here. I always wanted
Mhm.
to leave from this reality. So
Mm.
that's why I was able to. Well, that's why I say. Well, what was your second question? Your second question
No,
was
where did
why?
you go? And you
Yeah.
told me where
So
you
that's
went.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So
the stuff that you
that's
created.
why I left because I didn't like the hostile environment.
Mhm.
Which dealt with the old cliche old-fashioned butt whoopings, and I don't know
Yeah.
if I would cuss and say
Yo, you can
a
cuss,
whooping.
trust
Okay,
me.
yeah.
When I start talking, I might say a couple of words. You're gonna be like,
Yeah.
okay, legend.
But yeah, stuff like that, just abuse, verbal abuse, and
Mhm.
physical abuse, and things like that. I remember a couple times my aunt actually told me, I don't want to say which aunt, but not by blood per se, told me, your parents don't love you. That's why you're here. Just those
Mhm.
things kind of wear and tear on your brain.
Right. Mhm.
So I just wanted to get away from that. So that's how I did it through telling stories through my dollar store action figures.
I totally understand when you say that your parents was an addict and
Mhm,
then just verbal abuse
mhm,
or any even physical abuse.
mhm,
My father was an addict
mhm.
and he used to abuse us as well.
Oh, okay.
So I understand when you say that. And I had
Yeah.
two little sisters who were in and out of foster care
Mm.
for a while. So when a lot of stories happen and you telling those things, it's okay,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I want you to understand that that people love you.
Yeah.
The addiction is
Yeah.
the problem.
No doubt. I mean, they're 100%. My parents are
Hmm.
100% clean for maybe what 20 years now, say.
Hmm.
So they're back on track, and anytime I need anything, they're there for me 100%.
That's amazing.
Yeah, which is a
That's
blessing
good.
because
That's a
that's
blessing.
not always the case. I have cousins who lost their parents to the
Mhm.
streets, or family members that lost. So I was just blessed, and they were blessed to be able to make it through. So that's not the case anymore,
Mhm.
and I want to make sure that's clear.
Oh, yeah,
That
it's clear.
that that's not the situation
No, it's
but
clear. But
but
sometimes
that
you always
was
have to tell people where you come from so
yeah,
they can see why you move the way you move
yeah,
now,
yeah.
if that makes sense to
Yeah, it
you.
makes 100%
Right?
sense.
That
Yeah,
makes sense. And
yeah,
you said those things played in your mind.
yeah,
So, how did you reshape your mind to not think that anymore? Because your surrounding, your environment is proving what people say, even though that's not necessarily the
yeah,
case. So,
yeah.
how did you shape your mind? How did you get over it? Or does it still affect you to this day sometimes?
I think sometimes it still affects me. I
Mhm.
think and when I say I was in an abusive relationship my whole life, it wasn't through my parents per se, it was through the other relatives.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes I find myself being more aggressive and not physically per se, maybe passively aggressive or just a little bit more darker than I should be based off
Mhm.
of me having to adapt to that in the past. So I don't know if I've dealt with it completely. I don't know if it's all the way gone.
Mhm.
Um, Sometimes I want to be a better person.
Mhm.
I want to be a lighter person, but it's a lot of
It's a
therapy that's
coping
probably
mechanism.
needed.
I
Yeah,
was going
I
to say
just
it's a
can't.
coping mechanism, your
Yeah,
safety zone. It's
yeah,
your familiar. We
yeah.
are normally get stuck in that mode, right?
Mm-hmm,
To
hmm.
be like, you know what? I can control this.
Yeah.
Because when you start doing that shadow work, and if you guys know what I'm talking about,
Hmm,
shadow work is something
hmm. Yeah.
that will definitely start pulling back layers. And in order for you to be that person that you want to be,
Hmm.
you have to do that work.
Yes.
You have to do that
A lot
work.
of people keep telling me, you need to do some shadow therapy. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll get to it sooner or later. But
Even if it isn't shadow therapy, right? Even
Mhm.
if it's just one thing at a time that you acknowledge your triggers, right?
Mhm.
So what puts you in that space that you initially have to put your guard up, right? That you
Mhm.
have to be that over
Mhm.
aggressive person.
Yeah.
Because I say that all the time. People, I'm like, I'm really sweet. I'm
Yeah.
really nice. I will do anything for anybody. I know how to submit. But when
Mhm.
people initially meet me and see me, oh, she's a hard ass
Yeah.
or she's tough. But that only comes from when you have to build tough skin.
Yes.
So what triggers you when you have to put on your, jacket?
Right.
Let's identify your triggers. If you don't know, we can do
Yeah, I
it.
don't know if I know my triggers per se. I don't know. That's a good question. What triggers me?
So you got some homework
Yeah,
because that means I'm gonna text you and I'm gonna say, hey,
right.
I did not forget. Do not ignore me.
Right. What pissed you off this week?
What are some of your triggers? It could be the smallest things.
I think, if anything, excuses. You know, of anyone saying that they can't do something. I think that gets under my skin more than anything.
Why do you think that gets
So-
I know someone like that. Trust me.
What?
Trust me.
Like, what do you mean you can't? Like,
Yes.
it's a bullying point. That
And why do you think that's a bullying point?
maybe because I always had to find a way, you know. So, and I'm talking this out with you right now.
No, I
Literally,
get it.
We didn't script
what
this
we
about
do.
this.
No, we didn't script this, you guys. It's always like this.
Right. So I'm like, I don't know, but maybe because throughout life I always had to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was no like, well, if you don't figure it out, someone's going to save you. No, you got to figure
Save
this out.
yourself.
And if it doesn't work, then you're done. You're dead. You know, so
Mhm.
don't give me no excuse on why you can't do it. Make it happen.
Mhm.
I think another trigger that might really mess with me. What kind of show is this? Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm like, wait a minute. We supposed to be talking about vaginas and,
No, we're not talking about
and
this.
stop managing.
No. See, you're trying to deflect. Let's get back. Another trigger. Let's go.
No, I think another trigger for me is people just walking out on me. You know, I've found
Abandonment
myself in
issues.
some serious aggressive situations in the past
Mhm.
where women have like walked out on me like physically, and I snap like where like I have like a breakdown in a sense because I think it stems from back.
Being parents.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you know, so that whole thing of why are you leaving?
What did I do?
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
figure
yeah,
it
yeah.
out. Let's
And
make it work.
yeah.
Mhm.
So sometimes, and I've been working on that a lot.
I'm
Like in the last
glad to
couple of
hear
years,
that.
that's something that doesn't strike me like it used to strike me
Mhm.
at all. But that was something back when I was in a darker place, and I recently, I think I talked about the last interview when I had said I went to a darker place and I came back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, I'm fine now with
Mhm.
that, but that was a major trigger for me when we use those type of words, triggers. Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
trigger for me back.
Serious triggers. I totally get it. That's why I don't kind of let people close to me. So I'll
Yeah.
be honest with you. I deal with abandonment issues, parent issues, mommy issues.
Mhm.
So you talking, it's like you looking in the mirror right now. And I'm so transparent, it's crazy.
Yeah.
People be like, why you just telling me stuff that happened to you?
Right.
Because I'm not the only person
Yeah.
who struggles with these things on the daily.
Yeah.
So I could talk to you every single day, right?
Yeah.
And then one day I'll stop talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yes,
I
of
keep
course.
a distance.
Mhm.
And then people be like, what's wrong with you? Did I do something to you? No, you didn't do anything for me. I just prepare myself emotionally and mentally for
Mhm.
the time that you walk out of my life.
Yeah.
Because I'm already thinking, okay, we stop talking today or tomorrow.
Mhm.
It will be so much easier for me
Yep.
to already deal with the gaps in between.
I agree.
So I understand what you are saying. And
Yeah.
kudos to you for being vulnerable right now and honestly saying those were some of your triggers.
Yeah.
Because some men won't even say that. And then they'll be like, well, I don't know why. I just flipped.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And you knew where it came from. It
think-
just,
yeah.
your triggers it always happens to us from kids.
Yeah.
From a child. From a freaking child,
Crazy.
man. And you see, you're a grown man
Right.
with kids. You understand? With a career.
Yeah.
And moving forward, but you still have little triggers that will still do it.
Yeah.
For me, it's someone when they yell at me.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
I've been yelled at. Right.
Okay.
Or I feel like you being a little aggressive and I'd be like, yo, so what you want, fight?
Right.
Because because at the end of the day, like, why are you yelling at me? Right?
Yeah.
Or why are you challenging me, especially with men?
Yeah. Right.
It's all and with men, and like I said, I was abused.
Mm.
Then I was in an abusive relationship. So I'm also a domestic violence survivor.
Okay.
So with that being said, it's like, okay, are you coming at me aggressive? I'm gonna let you know that you're not even gonna play with me like that.
Right.
I'm not weak.
Right.
Right?
Right. Right.
So I get what you're saying, and I'm sharing this with you so you could be more comfortable talking
Right.
to
I'm over
me.
here sweating and stuff. I'm like, wait.
It's okay. It's called the journey of a soul sister. Yeah, Sage. Everybody needs to understand that the things that happen to us as a kid as we get older shapes who we are as an adult. And it depends on how we choose to deal with them. So advice to you, King, is just take one thing. Like I said, figure out what your triggers are.
Yeah.
Write them down, or something you're around and you start to feel like anxiety's kicking in, right? I don't know if you suffer from that or it starts to happen. Me too, right?
Badly.
Me too, like badly. I'm like, oh, those things. When it starts to happen, I try to play a game on my phone or I type in my phone.
Yeah.
Okay, what's around me right now? This isn't real. Maybe I am overly, hyperly sensitive right now because of a trigger.
Yeah.
But if you already identified your triggers, when you're typing that, it'll start playing in your mind. So instead of thinking of what's happening or what others are thinking, I can control it.
That makes sense.
See?
That
And
does make
yeah,
sense.
see? So try it.
Okay.
And I know you're a control freak because you said excuses piss you off. Right? But same here, because I've been on my own since I was 14. So any situation I have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out. But you got to allow yourself grace and others grace.
Yeah.
Because everybody ain't perfect and things happen. People can't come. People just can't.
Right.
Like as much as they want to, could have an intent to do so for you, something could have happened. So I'm just going to challenge you, just when that happens, take a deep breath. Don't even respond right away because you know 9 times out of 10 it's a text.
Right.
They don't call you.
Right.
It's a
Right.
text. Just step away from the phone for a minute. Realize that things happen every day. And then just tell the person, okay, number one, are you okay? Because it probably took a lot for that person to text you, depending on the situation. You got other people, they just bullshit. But to keep it honest with you, say, are you okay? Let me know when we can reschedule this. Send me a couple of dates and times. I'll let you know what works for me.
Right.
And then you just move from there. And if the person doesn't follow up, then you already know what's up.
Right. Yeah. No, I follow that.
How's that? You think that was good for you?
I think so.
Okay. So you say you've been through a dark place. You went to all these different places, your imagination. And most creators, we have a wonderful imagination and it makes us think different things. When you were in your dark place, where were you? You know where you was at.
I was under the ground.
You were under the ground.
Yeah. I was away.
Okay.
Not away, like not in jail or nothing like that, but I was I was in a different space in my head, just doing stuff that stuff I shouldn't have been doing. Yeah.
And I'm just going to say to you, I don't think so much is so, I know, not think that things that you should have been doing, those things that you needed to do in order for you to grow and learn from.
Definitely.
You have to look at it like that.
Yeah.
We're not the same person you were yesterday, the day before then, the day before that.
Right.
So stop saying things I shouldn't have done. Just say things I had to go through.
Okay. Things I had to go through.
Yes.
Watch Risky Business.
Risky Business. Yeah, you guys. I did see it.
That'll tell you some stuff, but
I did see it.
Risky Business is it dusts around a lot of things that's happened in the last few years of my life, So,
okay. So you can definitely say through your work,
yeah,
you'll be able to learn more things about you. Would you say that?
Roughly, yes.
Okay.
To keep everyone's identity safe and
of course,
and make it for TV.
I had to do the same thing with my book.
Yeah, so Risky Business is a pretty good show. The one can say, "Oh, that never happened."
Well,
Risky Business, watch it.
Just
check it out.
Figure it out. Your own
Yeah.
interpretation.
Right.
I get that. So, what was the name of your first film?
My very, very first film, like a decade and a half ago.
Hey, yeah, come on now. This is your work. This is your catalog.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
Torture was my very first film.
Okay, so give us a little remnants about Torture.
That was back at the time when I wrote that. That's when the Bloods and Crips the Bloods was starting to get really heavy involved in Baltimore a little bit or whatever. This is probably like 15 years ago.
It's okay, I'm old too.
Yeah, it's a while ago. So it was about gangs taking over a neighborhood in Baltimore and a father who wanted his son to stay protected and away from gang activity. The gang just wanted to keep doing stuff on his block and the father was uncomfortable with it. He stood up to the gang killed the father.
Oh, wow.
And the son then wanted to feel closer to his dad, and the only way he could feel that way is through martial arts because his father took martial arts. The son took martial arts, became like this kung fu master, and took revenge out on the gang with using kung fu. I
ain't fighting nobody that take martial arts. I'm saying that now. They whip my ass.
It was a crazy story. I mean, it was little pieces in there and everything, but I really took a lot from the Dawson families as well. When that happened,
when that fire and stuff happened,
yeah. So I took some pieces from that and everything, and
which is sad.
Very much,
yes.
Yeah, very, very.
You guys haven't researched Baltimore history, the Dawson family.
Yeah. So It's so many stories here to tell,
Mhm.
and I just try to keep it real, but at the same time, make it into the fictional world and everything where people can,
Mhm.
you
So
know,
they can understand.
yeah, and escape a little bit, so the good guy wins sometimes in my stories.
Of course, they should.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah, it's
You ain't
stories.
always the bad guy right
Right.
now. They may win, like, what is it called? They may have won a battle, but they haven't won the war. Am I saying
Right,
that
right, right.
right?
Yeah, that's
I'm
it.
totally could be
Yeah.
saying this wrong
You got
right
the
now.
fight, the battle, and the war.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
There you go. So it's okay. As long as you win the war this
Right.
time. You
Long
might
as
get
you
your
win the
ass whipped
war.
all through.
Right, right, right. But you will win the
But
war.
you win the war. Okay. Yes, I totally agree with that. So from that part, what was the best part that you liked about the film and what did you
Mhm.
want it to change moving forward?
With that particular film,
Yes.
what did I like the most about I like the story, the fact that, well, at that time we weren't in the whole awakened
Mm-hmm.
culture.
Mm-hmm.
Things were still, you had the token black guy. There weren't no Black Panthers,
That's true.
superheroes, or no Falcon, nothing like that. So my whole thing for this was just to create a image of a superhero in a sense, but not with powers, but just someone who was able to stand up to fight. We didn't have that back when
Mm,
when I made that movie. That was a
okay.
situation where I think the last thing we had like that was Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon.
Yeah.
So we
I
didn't
thought you was
have,
making about
yeah.
that.
But that was kind of like my time to be able to tell a story of a black hero. So
I love that.
that's why I did that.
I love that.
Yeah,
So fast forward, how many more films did you do after that one?
I did the movie Sweet Dreams after that.
Mhm.
Then I did the movie Senior Cut Day. I got hired to do a couple movies like Hood Dreams and a movie called Ravens Cravens. So I was just doing films throughout my
Mhm.
walk, and after a while, I just got burnt out, and the money wasn't right, and
Mhm.
I was just like, I'm
For
tired
all
of this.
artists, it's always that for
Yeah.
everybody.
So then I was like, you know what, risky business it is, and then it disappeared. I was like, okay, risky business it's not, and
Uh-huh.
got married, got kids, and got back into the whole movie career thing, and
Oh.
yeah, yeah.
So how did you get connected with the movie fit? Like, how did you know to like, okay, I could buy this camera? You say you watched
Yeah,
everything, but
yeah.
how did you get it on platforms for people to see it?
Just watching how they did it was the formula. So when I went on these bigger sets like Step Up and A Wire,
Mhm.
I just saw, okay, how do they do that? Okay, how do they get the background? How do they do color? Like just learning different stuff. And I
Mhm.
said, all right, I can do this. Let me go to Best Buy. Let me get some cameras, some lights, and just try to like make up some stuff. And I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it until I just got better. When you do it the way I do it, there's no secret, right? So people
Mhm.
look at me like, damn, Alvin, how your stuff look like this and mine look like that? I'm like, nigga, you just started last month, last year. There's no way to skip that process of learning without making a lot of mistakes.
Mhm.
You could buy the same camera as me. Your stuff is not going to look that way until you have practice. Even me, from the movie I made last year to this year, it looks 100% better because I'm still learning. It's time. You
Mhm.
can't buy time. That's just something you have to put in. You got to put in that time. So there's no secret besides to just keep doing it
Mhm.
and learning from your mistakes. Every time you do it, just do something different the next time, and you learn, you learn, and you learn, and you learn. So that's the way that's my biggest suggestion.
So
Don't take,
you would say you're your own critic.
yeah, for sure.
So you look at everything, be like, listen, next time this ain't that. This
Yeah,
time this is that.
yeah,
So that's a good advice for people at home because they
mhm,
need to know that,
yeah,
right? You be your own critic, but learn from it.
yeah. You got to. That's the only way. Like I said, there's no school that's going to teach this. No school can give you time. I can't give
Mhm.
no one time. You got to just get out there and put the time in, and you will grow. You'll see a difference.
Mhm.
And if you're not seeing a difference, then you're doing it wrong right there. You
Mm.
should be able to continue to see growth in each project. Maybe not back to back, but over the months,
Over some time,
yeah.
yeah.
And
Over
that's
some time.
anything. You working out in the gym, you're gonna see something over time, but you
Don't
gotta
bring
put
up
the
the gym.
time in. Yeah, don't break up.
No,
You
not
see me over
today.
here pulling my
Yeah.
shirt like
I'm
every
like,
five
oh no,
minutes.
you said I got my jacket on. You're gonna still hold by. Okay, so how did you get networks to take you serious? To
um,
even want to be like, hey, we're gonna go ahead and we like your work. How
Again,
did that
because I
happen?
put the time in, like people saw, okay, Alvin Gray's not giving up. He comes right back in. And, in my first year coming back, I put out 2 films and a whole TV series. You can't
Hmm.
ignore that. So you just keep banging on the door until they say, all right, can someone answer that?
So you just go up to them and be like, hey, or you submit your portfolio to stations.
Yeah, sometimes you can do it yourself with this new thing with called Film Hub on you can upload your stuff on Film Hub. And
I never knew about
yeah,
that.
this is something new that distributors go to Film Hub and they say, okay, what's out here, and they'll pick from there what they want,
Oh
and
wow.
you cut out the middleman completely, or you can go to distributors.
Hmm.
Distributors, man.
Yeah, explain that, because you got to. I'm walking in your lane. I don't know nothing about this. You got to teach us, right? Because some people don't know, and people watch, and then you inspire others. They be like, "Well, what do I do to distributors? What do I do?"
I don't like distributors though.
Why? What they do?
Because it's this whole world now. Like, and I'm pointing to the sky because there's nothing there. This invisible world where you can just pull numbers out the sky. You can make numbers disappear. You can just create what you want. And sometimes distributors are not honest. They're already taking 60% for nothing. And then
are you serious? 60%?
Yeah.
Oh no! When I turn this into a film, my autobiography, I'm doing it myself.
This is what I suggest to anyone at this point, and I'm learning this still.
60%.
Yeah, I mean, you could do a 50, but even 40 is too much. Or 30 is too much. It's just too much.
What I wrote. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Keep cutting you. Go ahead.
No.
You want 60 or what?
Yeah, they want 60 of your work. They didn't do nothing besides put their logo on the front of it and give it to Tubi or give it to Peacock or give it to whatever. They don't do nothing else. They don't market it. They don't do anything. They say you're in charge of that. Or, like.
And you want 60% of my stuff.
Right.
Or 50.
So you don't, that's why I don't suggest doing distribution deals unless it's somebody huge, like Netflix.
Disney.
Or Disney, right. And even with that.
No, Disney ain't gonna take me.
Yeah. But still though, I suggest, if anything, at this point I'm learning to build your brand. Build your brand, build your fan base, and go directly to them through your own website, through social media, through things like that.
Okay.
But do not, if you don't have to, try to avoid these distributors, because everyone's coming up for. I'm thinking about coming up for distribution company at this
You
point.
probably should.
Why not?
If you
Everyone
could
else
take 60%.
like, yeah, people really just taking everyone's movies. But I don't even want to represent them. But I'm just saying, it's a whole business in that in itself right now. The business right now, everyone has a channel. Everyone's doing their own Roku thing or whatever. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I feel like people should just start building their own fan base, a loyal fan base, and you'll get more revenue from just your loyal fan base than giving it to a distributor, and they'll put it out there, and you'll never see any money from it.
So how do you know you building a loyal fan base? For those who don't know,
social media engagement. I hate social media, but at the same time I love it. It's like a 50-50 thing with that.
Same.
Like
I'd be like, I ain't getting on that shit. Then I'm like, oh, never mind.
You got to, and it keeps you connected. I would say social media really has helped and destroyed the filmmaking industry, probably every industry.
Every industry.
Because
then we had to wait for the magazines to come out with the paparazzi. Now you ain't got to wait. You can read it.
No.
In like 10 seconds.
That's it. I'm like, what is a celebrity anymore? Like, you got influencers that are more important.
More important than celebrities.
It's the craziest thing. The world is upside down. But what do you do?
Sure. One of my good sis, one of my soul sisters, she's a great influencer, ambassador, and stuff. She's doing her thing. Shout out to Cammie. She'll be here soon. She lives in Miami. She's from Baltimore too.
Okay.
But she had to leave Baltimore in order to, make it in a different type of life. So my question to you is, as you were doing your films, did you literally had to leave here for people to believe in you?
I did.
Oh, where did you go?
Oh, I did. I just recently did that movie in Nevada.
Oh, I know that, but I'm like, hey, film directors pick spots everywhere.
Right. No, I went, but see, that wasn't even on purpose, but it worked out in a sense where when I went there and I came back, people started looking at me like, oh, you make movies. And I'm like,
so they took you serious because you went to Nevada?
Because it looks I guess it looks different than what it looks Baltimore. Right.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
So people are looking at it like, oh, so you doing movies out there with them.
They don't cut our people. No.
I'm like, wait, what? What are you talking about? I've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah.
No, but you doing it for real. You out there. So sometimes you have to make noise in other places for people to hear you.
I get it. I get it.
And I've been hearing that since, because I used to mess with radio a little bit back in the day. And they would tell me, you start a resume here, but you build a name somewhere else, and then you come back home once you build a name somewhere.
Once you build somewhere, and that's so crazy that we have to do that because Baltimore has so many hidden gems. And honestly, we are the Black Hollywood. If you want to be honest, I'm not playing. If we could give people chances and people buy into our communities and buy into our creators, I've met some dope creators. I've met some dope artists, all types of artists. Because we're all artists. People with storytelling and poetry. I mean, everything. Like, we're here. As little as Baltimore is, we're here.
You got everything you need right here.
But why do we have to leave?
It's the mentality, man. That's a whole different show.
That's a whole different show.
It's jacked.
I have to ask that because every person who's sat here, right? Because I'm not like, I'm Baltimore, true. Like, that's just me. And they're like, you're going to have to leave.
Yeah.
People have said that to me. Like, you got good that you're building what you need. You're going to have to go. But I'm just at the fence like, I don't know if I could go.
If you don't, people here will bring you down,
Mm.
and maybe not even intentionally bring you down. Maybe they're trying to climb on you because you're going somewhere and they can't go by themselves, so they try to climb on you, but they don't understand why they're climbing on you. They're bringing you right back down. And I've seen this happen over and over and over again personally. Where I'm trying to get somewhere, but I got the whole team on me. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And it's hard to get over that fence when you're carrying everybody. So sometimes it can be difficult to do that. Probably shouldn't have said that.
No,
But
it's no, you should tell the truth
Yeah.
because sometimes we need to hear that. Like I needed to hear that,
Yeah.
right? Because sometimes, like we said, we're our own worst enemy and we
Yeah.
stand in our own way.
Yeah.
I never thought to really venture out
Mhm.
and take my brand somewhere else.
You should.
I always want to be like, no, I want to hear the stories here because we have so much. I want people to share their journey. I want to heal my people.
Yeah.
So we heal through conversation. We
Mhm.
heal through getting advice.
Mhm.
But the more and more everybody keep talking about it, they keep saying, yeah, I think you got to go somewhere. I think you got to go somewhere. You're like, no, you should.
No, you should. You can come back. You come back and visit. And when you're more established and you have, let's say an extra seat instead of trying to climb the fence, you're like, all right, I got a plane we can fly over now because I've put them in the plane and then take off. But don't try to. Sometimes that hustle together thing, people
It just drags you down.
yeah.
So where do you see Alvin Gray Productions? Like,
Mhm.
where do you see that going?
Man,
I'm listening because I'm here for it.
if I was being brutally honest,
Please do. Well, I don't
I
like
wake
liars.
up every morning, I look at that ceiling fan, and I say, I'm done with this shit.
Oh my God. High five.
I'm done with. I wake up every morning. I look at that same spinning fan. Even in this winter, I have the fan on just for comfort.
It's a lot of
whatever.
people.
And I like, here we are again.
Turning red.
I'm done with this shit.
Mhm.
Like it's so much. I'm like, is it worth it? I'm like, all right, I'm 37 now, right?
Mhm.
Like, yo, you still got some time. Get a new career, do something else. You ain't got just be normal.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because this is just too much stress. It's too much. Then Instagram, like I said, it helps, but it doesn't help because then I'm seeing everybody else. And I'm like, I gotta keep up with these people and everyone. Every time it's just so much anxiety of trying to keep up with everybody else.
Mhm.
And then I got this image of, oh, Alvin, you doing this. But me and I'm like, yo, I'm a professional. I've been editing for 20 years.
Mhm.
Just because it looks like this, that doesn't mean that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like
It's not that easy.
It's not, so
It's
I'm like,
time consuming.
it's pressure behind it too. It's time consuming. And it's pressure because people think that I'm like doing all these things. I'm like, yeah, that's not what it is. I'm tired. I'm freaking tired. So what do you see Alvin Gray Productions? 910 Productions. I don't see anything at this moment.
Okay.
It's gonna be what it's gonna be. If you would have told me last year I would be here with what my catalog is, where it is right now, I would have told you you're full of shit. It's not happening. Somehow.
But somehow, some way,
Yeah.
you're there.
But it's step by step, day to day with me. For real. Like, you know what I mean? Like I got so many movies in my head that I want to do that probably won't get I don't know.
They will. No, we're not going to do this on us. So let me just backtrack. Here,
today, I said I wasn't doing this shit.
Yeah, but look, your ass is here today. Don't play with me. I'm about to have to roll up on you like, now you playing.
Right.
Come on. This is what I'll say to you, right? I think I know every creator, every person that's an entrepreneur or doing their own business or doing stuff, we have that conversations like, I'm not doing this shit.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it, right?
Yeah.
Because of all the worldly pressures. But what I can tell you is from another creator, ain't nothing else better. Because working for somebody else is going to drive you crazy.
True.
That type of career, their schedule.
True.
Okay. And then you have the family life on top of it.
Uh-huh.
You're going to be like, I'm not doing this shit either.
Right. So either way, I'm just screwed.
So either way, you rather be stressed with the things that you love.
Yeah.
Or being controlled to do things that don't bring you any real pleasure. You're just doing it because of society.
Right.
So you need to weigh your options when it comes to that.
Right.
Think about that.
Right.
Right. And things are not opening up for you. You're not getting opportunities and have these gifts and talents if it wasn't for you to do.
That's true also.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. You don't know, it's the journey of a soul sister. We're going to heal together. Okay. I say it all the time. I be like, oh, I ain't doing this shit no more.
Yes.
Right. But guess what? Guess where I'm sitting at right now?
You're here.
I'm sitting here. Right. Oh, I'm not going to put out my next book. Last night I was typing some more to part 2, just trying to edit it and make sure it's okay.
Right. Keep pushing.
But that's what I'm telling you. We have to push each other. And another advice I would say to you is you're going to need a better team.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say a better team, and I can speak for this, because I thought I had a solid one. You hear me?
Right.
And then some shit hit the fan. We talk about this off camera.
Mhm.
Whereas though they were only supposed to serve their purpose for the time that they served their purpose for, right? Because
understand.
I was just getting into the business and I fully didn't believe in myself, but I knew I could do it.
Right.
If that makes sense on
Total
any type
sense.
of level, right?
Total sense.
And then once you get in there, you know, not saying so much of egos, but I'm like, I ain't worried about you niggas. I do this. Or we're not trying to go in the same way.
Right.
So those people, when you're tired, that's why other creators, why I like being part of Digital Impact Studios right now. And I ain't saying this because I like Lee and everybody else is underneath the umbrella.
Right.
Hell no, because they get on my nerves sometimes. I'm going to be honest. I'm telling you, and I know I get on theirs on purpose. But what we do for each other, not only do we critique each other's work, but we actually come up with better ideas to make each other better.
That's good.
When you're tired and I don't want to do it, they're like, no, legend, you gotta boom, boom, boom. Like my brother Ham, he'd be like, no, you ain't even a podcaster. You got a show. You Oprah, you know, and saying that I'm Oprah, and Oprah is amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know her personally, but what her catalog speaks for.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So somebody to compare you to that is like, oh, you really see that in me?
Yeah.
But I don't, you know,
yeah,
nigga, I don't say it for me. You understand? So what I'm saying to you is build yourself around other people who are creators and healers. Healers forget to surround themselves around other healers because they forget that we need healing.
True. I'm gonna hold on to that.
Yeah, you better hold on to that. Quote it, you know, repost it, and just say, you know, legend told me this.
Right. Hold on.
See, hold on to that. It took me a while to come over to the team. They'll tell you I was reluctant. I was loyal to mother. I would not. I was like, no. But then when things hit the fan, and then my brother Ham said, you ain't been recording. I don't know what's going on with you. You dragging your feet. And I just broke my silence after that. Because at first I was just going, just put my tail in between my legs and be like, F this and work in healthcare all the time. Which is another beast in itself and a whole nother show for that. But me telling you this, don't say, okay, you can say, I don't want to do this shit no more. But then when you get that idea, say, okay, but do I really want to work for someone else?
No.
There you go. See?
That's without hesitation. Like,
no hesitation, right? Look at my catalog. I'm the shit.
Yeah.
You better say you the shit. Because even if it ain't the typical Baltimore story that people say, whatever, you making a difference. You was just out in Nevada, how they say it? Nevada. You know, you just was out there and met some probably really good people that you'll probably stay in contact with forever. Yeah. Like you said on the other podcast, you were like, I just put on a little post, hey, do people want to make a movie? If you don't feel that you're anointed, I don't know why to tell you that. That just happened. You said it wasn't even supposed to happen, it happened.
Right.
So what's for you is going to be for you, and you have the magic and the power to make it happen. You were in the right place at the right time and the right people. So what you talking about? You ain't going to do what now? So where do we see this going? I'm going to ask you this question again. Let's rewind it. Where do we see this going? Yeah, come on. Because now I know I got to put you underneath the umbrella. I got to harass you.
It's going to be some more projects coming.
Exactly.
I just don't want to admit it.
You don't want to admit it? Why?
Like, because it's like being in this. It's like being in a relationship where you get cheated on, but you know you can't leave. So it's like, I'm going to say I'm leaving, but you know you're not really leaving.
You're not really leaving.
So it's like, you know, shit, you know, I hate this. I ain't gonna never do this. But like, I'll make another movie next week.
Exactly.
You know, but in my heart of hearts, I really just be like, fuck this.
But you love it too much.
I can't let it go.
Because it's your calling. It's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to paint stories. You're supposed to tell stories.
Yeah.
I got one better. You want to produce my film?
Oh my gosh. I just said I want to stop.
Yeah, I'm not going to let you. I'm not going to let you.
Yeah. Let me read the book.
You can read.
Yeah.
Don't cry.
Don't cry. I always cry. I cry every night before I go to bed when I wake up.
That's good. Teach me how you do that.
Just living life.
I've been living it, but I told you.
This shit no more. I can't take it.
Well, guess what? When you don't feel like it and you want to cry, call us. Yeah. Bother us. You need some other creators to be around you for a moment. You don't have to do everything yourself. I'm learning that now that I'm learning what a real team means.
Right.
Because, of course, a person who is always used to doing everything themselves, right? Yeah, tough skin. That's what I'm saying. You'd be like, I don't need these people. What are these people for? I can do this shit myself. Or they're going to let me down. Or what the hell? I got to wait on their time. I ain't waiting on them when I can do it right now. But to be honest, you need those people. I swear the stress, It's not going to go away 100% because you got to still get used to the fact of someone else handling your business. But that comes with trust.
Right.
And then the people that you decide to bring, just vet them. People are like, what is this, an interview? You damn right. Let me see, and listen to those schedules. And don't be afraid to have those uncomfortable conversations to build your team or saying what your expectations is for people. Because I tell you straight.
Mm-hmm.
They be like, what? Like, you had to say it like that. Yes, I did. That way you know what you're getting.
Right.
And that way I know what I'm getting when it comes from you. But you need those people. Let those people do their job.
I need that.
And you're going to feel better.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. First you was like, you go try to check over everything. Like, I don't think they let me see. But if other people love it just as much as you love it, and if other people can buy into your vision and see your vision,
right,
what you think they're going to do? They're going to wear it with a badge of honor like it's them.
I need those people.
Okay, well, I think you met some of them.
Oh, yeah, my manager.
Like, right? You met, hey,
right.
And you've met some great people and you've been here. So now that you're here, I'm speaking, Lee probably cussed me out, but you have a home here.
I have a home here. Thank
yes.
you. Put my hat down.
You can talk to people. You ain't even know us. You invite us like, come on over. And then you were always welcoming and your energy is amazing.
Thank you.
No, thank you for not being a hard ass.
No. I'm too tired to be a hard ass. I don't care.
You don't care. Whatever. You have a home here. So I'm going to get you that book and I'm going to harass you and say, read it when we starting.
Yeah.
Now, if I clear out my busy schedule, you have to do the same.
Yeah.
You got to believe in it. So I think if you know that you read someone's story and you see what happened and you push it, I think that will lighten the fire in your ass. Because I had someone else ask me, but I wasn't comfortable with them. I'm comfortable with you.
Oh, thank you.
Ain't that crazy?
That is very much so.
No, because you was nice ever since I met you. And then you came in here and then your energy. Sometimes you can just tell people's energy. Other people, when I don't feel like this is my story.
I understand.
So whoever you give it to in their hand, you have to trust them.
Yes.
Then I was watching your stories and then I've been doing my homework on you and just looking at your stuff. And then there was this clip that was on Instagram the other day. You had on that pink shirt. And I laughed so hard at that clip. I was like, what the hell? But it was so intriguing. And then I sent it to people. And I sent it to people. And then I kept doing my homework and looking up your movies and just doing things like that. And I'm like, okay, he can tell a story.
Yeah.
When you sat here and you explained to us real quick how your story even happened, how I just dropped into your lap. I'm like, oh, that's somebody that can make things happen.
Yeah.
You just need to believe it. You see it.
It's a gift and a curse, Yeah, but I can do it.
Of course you could do it. What you mean? You did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I did it. No, we're gonna start this back on rewind.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah, say it like that. Say it with your chest.
Yeah.
What they say, head up, chest out. Yeah, I think it's head up, chest out. I could be saying it wrong. I don't know either, but we gonna be head up, chest out.
I did it.
He did it.
I did it.
And he's going to continue to do it. And then you're going to teach others exactly how to do it that don't think they can.
Yeah. It's doable. You just got to.
You saying it's doable. We don't know.
Time. That's all I can just tell people. You're not going to be able to do it overnight.
How much goddamn time? Because people are going to ask you those questions.
Consistency. It could take just time. People say they want to do it, but they don't want to put the work in, and it takes time. Like the people don't, like the show you saw, it took me a month literally to be locked in the editing suite. Like literally, it's a scene where there's no audio at all. I literally had to record the cup, that noise, that putting it down, putting it, just Foley and everything, detail, time, learning, different stuff, and just putting the work in. If not, it's gonna look amateurish, but you gotta do it.
That's crazy. I hear that because my son, he told me that.
Yeah.
He's in film as well.
Okay.
And goes, where you go? Upstate New York.
Okay.
He graduated from BSA for their film department. Baltimore School of Performing Arts.
You have a son in that kind of grade?
Yeah, he's in college. Yes, he's a sophomore.
Wow. Okay, I have no idea who I'm sitting across from.
Told you, oh.
Wait, you have a son in college?
Yes, and he would tell me they would have to take different sound bites, different things to make that sound amplified.
Yeah.
Even if he already did that shot, they have to reshoot that shot over and
Yeah.
over from different angles. I'm like, I'd have quit already. I'm done.
It's time.
And that's what he told me. And I was like, you over exaggerating. And he was like, Mom, I'm tired. I'm busy. I'm tired. And I thought he was lying because I didn't know.
Nope.
I didn't know.
It's a lot of time.
And now you saying the same thing, so I gotta apologize.
Yeah.
Because I be thinking he just
I mean, you're talking about 15 hours a day just to shoot it. And once you actually finish shooting, you got to take it to the suite and edit. And that can take hours amongst days, amongst months.
Oh, wow.
Then you
So
got to get it
that's the
scored.
problem.
There's like music added, and sound effects, then the audio cleaning, then color corrected. And it just keeps going on and on and on.
Yeah, y'all can take care of all of that. I will learn my lines.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
And just tell me where to show up. That's it. And tell me we supposed to start an hour before so I can be on time.
Yep. You already know how I feel about that.
Yes. Right? You be extra. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, let me hurry up.
Right.
I'm horrible with time.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the God honest truth. Anybody that knows me, I am. So
It's an artist thing. We don't have to respect the
right.
clock.
I don't care about time.
It's different. It's different.
Right. Especially when you create it, like,
Yeah.
leave me alone.
You are time. The time.
I am the time, right? Thank you.
I get that as an artist. Like,
you didn't pump me up.
but it's on the other side of it. I'm like,
I know. I can't wait to say that to Lee later. I don't respect time. Time. I'm an artist. He's gonna be like, get your out of here. He literally just gave me the light, like time.
I saw that. I was like, was that lightsaber?
Yeah, that's what he did to let
Okay.
you know. So with that being said, right, is there any other thing that you would want to give anybody who's trying to get into the business?
I just say just stick. Oh boy, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Just stick with it.
And you saying this to yourself, right?
I'm saying it to myself. I'm just saying
Uh-huh.
there's no secret. We all have the same amount of money to buy the same camera. It's just all about sticking with the craft and don't worry about the rules. It's art. When you're creating art, there are no rules. You know, so don't try to make it like anyone else. Be yourself, be original, create your content, and just do it. That's all you got to do.
Just do it.
That's it.
See? See how passionate you was to say that for somebody else. Now, can you take that same energy you just had
Yeah.
and say that to yourself?
Alvin.
Say, I, Alvin.
I, Alvin. Head up, chest out.
Yes.
Just do it.
Because you're going to keep doing what?
Because I'm going to keep creating content. And I think, is that right?
And
Yeah.
film and
film.
and telling story and art.
And telling stories in art. And working on my triggers. And
Yes.
keep drinking tea. Strong tea.
We like tea over here, you guys. Brown, to be exact.
Brown strong tea. Yes.
I want to thank you
Thank you.
for coming on. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry if I made you uncomfortable. I hope you were okay.
I'm good. It's all good.
But I learned a lot from you, and this will not be the last time you hear from me.
No doubt.
Do not be a stranger. Like I said, you have a home here at Digital Impact Studios. I want you to give everyone your Instagram again, where they can hit you up.
Yeah. It's the Alvin Gray, Gray. So it's the TheAlvin, the Alvin Gray.
Mm-hmm.
From there, you can find my LinkedIn page, and it'll take you like a spider web wherever
you need to go, because he's got it all there.
Yeah.
And I will have all these links dropped in the description box.
Okay.
So for those who didn't catch it, or they're like, I couldn't write down at that moment, but I was listening to that interview, I'm going to make sure they get that information because people need to work with you. Are you open to collaborating with others?
Yes, I have a very huge passion for artists of all walks of life, not just film, acting, dance, painting, music, whatever. You know, I just believe in anyone who's doing some type of creative outlet.
Mm-hmm.
I want to meet them.
Okay, y'all heard it here first, right? He wants to meet you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
And this one, I come and I do my little turn. My
Mhm.
little ending.
Okay.
You guys, let me tell you something. Even when you feel like you want to quit, you look up at the ceiling, as my guest said, I don't want to do this shit anymore, right? But then you have to ask yourself, do I want to be controlled by others? Do I want to work for someone else? Or how much do I really love this? Ask yourself, if you weren't able to do the things that you are doing now as a creator, a writer, a teacher, whatever it may be, then why are you even able to do it at all? And with that being said, this was another episode, The Journey of a Soul Sister.
This is a Anything Goes podcast production.